What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We're with Hill City Paranormal. And I know you guys are used to us having our lovely guests that we always have on our show. I don't know what happened. I'm going to blame it on myself. I looked at my calendar to find out who we had tonight, and guess what? We had nobody.
We don't have nothing.
So you're stuck with us.
But we in here, though.
Yep. Joke's on y'all, right? But I'm going to wait a little while, just a few minutes, let some people tune in, things like that.
One person's in here.
The messy hair going on, you know, paranormal hair don't care.
Paranormal.
But yeah, I got ghosts.
I'm trying to do this without glasses tonight.
Oh my God, you're going to be squinting at the screen, old man.
I ain't squinting.
I'm not doing it without the glasses. Otherwise, you guys would literally see me like this in the camera. But I'm going to let a couple more people tune in. We're going to have a live Q&A is what we're doing. A live Q&A. All input is welcomed. Negative, positive. We don't care. We like all input. We want to hear from you. My one little user disappeared.
He's like, hell with this.
Shonda's here. Hey, Shonda. Fredericksburg Paranormal.
What's up?
How are y'all on this fine day? I'm a little bit upset that the humidity went back up. But other than that, we're doing good. You guys have any upcoming investigations or anywhere that you guys are going that's super cool and you can't wait? Let me know. Let me know. Hey, Shonda. Kim, hi, babe.
What's up, Kim?
Glad to see you in here.
We sing your praises on here, Kim.
Yes, Kim's always so busy. I'm always so happy when she pops in.
Yes.
I need some of Kim's skills. John Sullivan,
we got the whole FPRI crew.
FPRI.
Good folks.
We got about 5 people watching, so we can go ahead and get started. Again, for those that weren't tuned in the very beginning, we're doing like a live Q&A.
Yeah, I got to put my glasses on. I'm sitting over here squinting.
Yeah.
I was going to try to be cool.
I told you you were old.
Listen, I'm not old. I'm better.
Shonda said the boys are going to Brayley's Pond this weekend camping. Now, ironically about that, anybody who knows me, I would prefer to glamp. Okay. But this weekend, we are glamping is bougie camping.
Oh, I thought it was a gang.
No. Well, it could be a gang.
Isn't that a gang?
A gang of people. The glampers.
Or is that clamping?
That sounds really inappropriate.
Like the fist up. What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember.
Let's see. Kim says she's still what I was saying, Shonda, was see, Kim is a glamper too.
What is glamping?
Glamping is bougie camping. Like nobody wants to. Rhonda, hey, hon.
We got the whole FBI.
I know. Hey, Ma.
What is up?
Anyway, this weekend, for those that don't know us, Sean and I are super into history. Okay. And so we are actually participating in a Civil War reenactment this weekend in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. So Michael Brooks said, screw glamping.
Well, Michael Brooks said that. I'm with Michael.
Yeah, Kim Sage said, I need air conditioning. So
I thought we outnumbered.
Hear this out, Kim. I am participating in a Civil War reenactment this weekend. Hey, John. I don't know if you heard us earlier. Shout out Fredericksburg Paranormal again. Anyway, I have to dress period correct. I have a petticoat, a camp petticoat, and a camp dress.
It's a skirt.
And I was told that I had to starch the petticoat. Okay. I did not know that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I should have had to add water to the starch because my petticoat now sits upright in the shape of a skirt and does not move. So this should be interesting.
Why are you crying about it?
I'm not crying. I just I'm going to be hot this
You got
weekend.
to toughen up.
But it's going to be fun. Battle of Strasbourg will be in Pennsylvania. I'm going to try to go live for some people, probably on maybe my personal page for those of you that are friends with me. But we were told that our cell phones had to be concealed to be period correct. So I'm going to figure out how to go live. If I get too hot,
right,
I will strip down to my civilian clothing.
I got to put my Jeffrey Dahmer glasses on because I can't see. I'm struggling.
I will strip down to my civilian clothing, go on the spectator side, and I will go live. Either way, I will find a way to go live because Sean and the troop that he is with, the 24th Virginia,
that's right,
will be taking over a steam engine from Union forces.
killing them Yankees.
And there will be 5 skirmishes on Saturday and 4 on Sunday. So super fun. Anybody that's listening in that's in Pennsylvania, if you want to come out, Strasbourg, Pennsylvania, the Battle of Strasbourg, I think is what it is. Is that what it is? The Battle of Strasbourg?
I think that's what it's called.
I don't know. Anyway, Kim said she's still recouping from the other weekend. Yes, Kim, I hope to see y'all soon. We need to get up. We need to do a Hill City / FPRI.
I can't imagine Kim's brain. Like, with her abilities, and Kim and Rhonda, like, I couldn't imagine their brain. Like, is y'all's brain always, like, on 1,000? I'm just curious. Like, with the stuff y'all are able to do and y'all's, like, do y'all ever rest? I'm just curious.
We need to write a series, The Mind of a Psychic Medium.
Yeah, I can't imagine y'all even being able to sleep.
That would be a lot.
That's a lot. Y'all, that's pretty heavy. I couldn't.
I'd love to sit down, Kim, and just, she said you don't want to know. 100% yes, it is.
I figured that would be your answer. I couldn't imagine y'all, like,
I just want to sit down.
Brainstorm. Like,
well, I want to sit down and like have lunch with you, Kim. Just like sit down and pick your brain. Like, I think that would be great. I think we should get up and have lunch one day. What do you think? So, yeah, she said she does sleep, but she establishes boundaries.
Interesting. Yeah.
Much like real life.
Talk about that before. Yeah. I remember her talking about that.
Much like real life, you guys, to be real honest with you. Hey, Stevie. You've got to establish boundaries in your personal life. Otherwise, you will literally get emotionally and mentally drained. I mean,
well, she talked about boundaries in the spirit world. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Kim said, let's do lunch. I like lunch.
I remember talking about the boundaries in the spirit world as well. Like, she has to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But you know, I imagine it's the same as having to establish boundaries like in your real life.
Yeah.
Lonnie.
Soul Tone Day.
Mother frickin' day. Spooky folks back at it again. Have y'all ever been to Poasttown Elementary? No. Where is Poasttown Elementary, Stevie? Yes, Kim. People. Yes, you need to establish boundaries. That's what I was saying. You have to establish boundaries on, you know, a personal level. And for those of you that have adult children, I will say those are some of the hardest boundaries to set.
Howdy, hard. I set boundaries on my 15-year-old. I'm done talking.
Yeah. Well, my 25-year-old has Middletown, Ohio. You know what? Ohio's not that far from us. I think we should take a trip to Ohio.
I agree with that.
Isn't Ohio like 8 hours away?
Depending on which part you go to. I had a blast last time I was in Ohio.
Let's see how far Middleton, Ohio.
Live in Ohio.
So tell me about Poasttown Elementary, Stevie. Like what is significant?
We went this past weekend. It was awesome. I'm hearing a lot of schools are haunted. We got a haunted school here, but they won't let us in. But we're in the Bible Belt, so it's hard to investigate here at all. The location that we host is, we have to keep everything under wraps for that very reason.
For now, we're making headway.
We are making headway.
Lots of shadow figures.
You can watch the show about that. School with Ghost Brothers. Somebody else finally mentioned the Ghost Brothers. I love the Ghost Brothers. Dalen is that dude is awesome.
Oh, Shonda said it's on TikTok. Awesome. I'm a TikTok junkie. I will look it up. Disembodied voices, shadow figures, right up our alley. Ghost Brothers did it about that elementary school. I do not know why I cannot.
Speaking of
function.
disembodied voices, they are very. When you hear them, when you're on an investigation, it's always the wildest thing because it's always like you always look at your team and be like, "What you say?" And
Yeah.
you always think you're going crazy when you hear them.
Yeah. Where was it that I could hear the voices? Was that Blue Ball Inn?
Was the Blue
And it
Ball?
sounded like somebody was talking upstairs. Ghost Brothers, yes, Kim, they do crack me up. Like, I love it. And Middleton, Ohio is 7 hours and 26 minutes from us.
Oh, that's not bad.
Perication.
We've been further. We can go.
What? Nashville's 8 hours away. We used to go to Nashville
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, but we always went for music. It was never to investigate. So,
but Ohio's got a lot. Like, I would want to spend at least a week there.
We need a week in Ohio.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So any teams that want to take a road trip, y'all need to let us know.
Yes.
Well, any team that's willing to work with us. We haven't made many enemies yet, have we?
I don't think so.
Like one or two.
We don't get involved in paradrama.
One or two may have got some frowny faces with us.
Stevie said, I got 3 names prior to going to the school and was able to connect them. Wow. That's cool. That's cool.
Now, let's talk about that for a second, Stevie. Isn't it a great feeling when you're investigating and you're able to connect some dots? Like when, you're able to get one piece of evidence and it matches the next piece. That's probably the best feeling ever on an investigation. That just recently happened with us. We were able to get a name and then it matched something else that happened, then it matches something else.
Right.
But it drives me crazy because it's like you find just a piece of the puzzle. Now you're ready to complete the puzzle and it makes my head explode. It's like I'm ready to find all the answers and you can't.
Stevie said prior to the school being built, there was a horrible train wreck. So it's possible that the land that it sits on might hold some deeper rooted. Right. And John said he's down to go to Ohio. Michael Brooks said, yeah, avoid the drama for sure. Like I don't know. But look, I have a question kind of pinging off what you said, like connecting the dots.
Yeah.
So for the investigators that are in here, and I think almost everybody that's in here right now is an investigator, have you guys ever gotten a full-on name? Like I'm talking first and last name during a spirit box session. I want to know because, on the shows and the investigations that I've jumped on, you'll get things, Bob, Michael, Paul, Steve, Tom, whatever. But I've never gotten a full-on name until recently, and it was clear as day. We were investigating a location, and
our location, by the way.
Yeah, I was doing.
Y'all are interested in investigating? Let us know.
Yeah, I was doing the Estes method, so obviously I couldn't hear what Sean was saying, and I got a full first and last name, Thomas Holcomb, and after that, I just kept getting Tom on our app.
Kim is one I'd love to have here too.
Yeah, for sure. Necrophonics. We were using Necrophonics. We used Spiritus, SB7, and I think we cut on the Paratronics one as well. Correct?
No, we didn't use.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
I want to though.
But I kept getting Tom after that, but I got a full name, Thomas Holcomb. So that night, when we got done, we started doing our research and we were like, well, there was like a Thomas Holcomb that passed away in North Carolina recently. And so we didn't think anything of it. Then after digging, we found out that there's not one, but 3. Is it 3?
It's 3. Thomas
Holcomb. And then that was actually their middle name was Holcomb, buried at that cemetery. So, I don't know if I was missing the last name. It was really weird to me how clear it came through. Kim said she hasn't gotten a full name. Stevie, no, I haven't, but on 2 separate devices I have.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That night I had a shadow figure run across the back wall of the gym. When shadow figures run, they freak me out.
Why are they so fast?
I don't know.
Can anybody explain why a shadow figure is so fast? I mean, I've seen them. I don't understand. Like
They trained for a marathon for sure.
they are fat, except at Rainworth. If anybody ever goes to Rainworth in Gettysburg, shout out Mr. I call him Mr. Boner, but it's Bonner. They have to correct me every time. But
he didn't correct you.
he didn't correct me. He just goes with it. But if you ever investigate Rainworth Lodge, it's like, or Rainworth, it's the inner lodge.
Lodge.
Okay. Rainworth Lodge. Those shadow figures are like, they're either high or I don't know what they are, but they're slow. They'll let you see them and just walk.
And like mosey back to where they came from.
Yeah. Now those are a little bit different. And anybody who investigates it will see what I'm talking about. You see them and then they just walk.
Now, for those of you that are interested in history and, want to go to Gettysburg and things like that, we actually participate in Remembrance Day weekend, which this year will be up, I believe and I'm going to go to my calendar just to confirm, November 14th through the 17th, we'll be up there for Remembrance Day. But for those that don't know what Remembrance Day is, there's a huge parade. The whole town shifts back to the 1800s. I'm talking everybody dresses up. We dress up, we watch the parade, eat good food, whatever. And then when that's all said and done, on Friday night and Saturday night, we will be hosting public investigations both nights at the Rainworth Lodge. So for those that want to get tickets, they're available online, or you can send me a private message. And if you need accommodations, you want to come up earlier, stay later, let me know. Definitely have a lot of awesome hotels around, and there's still availability in several. I know I put up a post, I think, with a list of the hotels that were still available if you were interested. But I think the investigation is from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m.
I think so.
Yeah, Kim said, I'll look into this. My husband would enjoy it too. You know what, Kim, it's so cool. Like our first year
built in the 1750s.
Yeah, Rainworth Lodge was. But for Remembrance Day, our first year going, I was absolutely in shock. I was like, I don't fit in. I need to get me an outfit. So they've got a place called the Gettysburg Emporium. And, I'm a big girl. So I went in there hoping to find something. And the customer service that I received from that place, they measured me, custom made me a shirt and had it ready by Remembrance Day. I found a skirt that fit. I had a hoop. It was so cool. I've got pictures. We had such a great time just seeing the whole town shift backwards. And it shifts backwards all the way. It doesn't just shift with everybody's outfits and things like that. It shifts backwards in time. Everything slows down. And people are walking and everybody's respectful. And I can't tell you how many men walked by me and was like, "Good day, ma'am." And I'm just like, I'm not hip to this lingo. I'm used to
people holding doors.
Right. And it was just like, it was so cool to see the shift in time.
What was even cooler though was like, there's a bar for the Yankee troops.
Yeah.
And then there's a bar for the Confederate troops. And it was like, it was weird because, I was in the bar and the Yankee soldiers walked in and of course I was dressed in my Confederate stuff and they were looking at me sideways. It was almost like a scene in a movie or something. Like it was a shootout by that. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was like a standoff. Hey, Chuck.
Whitman.
Hope Carrie's feeling better.
Oh yeah, tell Carrie we said hello.
But yes, Gettysburg, man.
Yeah, we love Gettysburg.
That's like our home away from home.
Yeah, we're in Gettysburg all the time.
Yeah.
Gettysburg, a lot of evidence that we've gotten from Rainworth was great.
But I love the fact that you can just go whenever you want to Sachs Bridge too, and Eisenhower Bridge, aka the Suicide Bridge.
I just highly recommend if you're going to Sachs Bridge or Eisenhower Bridge, you go on a weeknight because the weekend you got those teenagers out there now, or a lot of people investigating.
Stevie said, "How's the battlefield?"
Depends on when you go. If you go during the day, it's a lot of tourists out. I don't know what their rules are as far as investigating. I walk around with like a
So investigating out there, the rules are technically it's considered relic hunting. So you got to kind of do it on the low. We went out with K2s on the battlefield in the middle of the day. So we went to Devil's Den. And for those that don't know what Devil's Den is, basically there was a sniper nest and he was killed right there. And a photographer.
He was killed actually like 40 yards away, I believe. And he was posted up. Right
that's
there.
What I was about to say. The photographer posed him for a picture in this one specific area. And we got a lot of intelligent K2 responses in the area in which he was posed up for the photograph that was taken during the Civil War. Yes, we did videotape it. And I can post it.
I'll send it to you. I don't post a lot of evidence. Last time I did that, it was a whole mess.
Oh, Lord.
But I'm not going to get into it.
We'll send it to you.
But I'm not a whole K2 investigator. I don't really do it. But, I worked with what I could work with. But
Chuck was there
with us. But I took what I could take on the battlefield without getting a $500 charge for relic hunting.
I mean, I carried my backpack.
Jail time.
Right. I carried my backpack. In my backpack, I had a REM pod, K2, a spirit box, things like that. I didn't just whip out all the equipment like I would on, say, like a paid investigation or an investigation period. I was very careful. If there was a heavy tourist spot, I didn't,
Yes, Michael Brooks. Sometimes you just got to adjust. All right, so check this out. I have a camera. I got it from Amazon. It's one of the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Odoro. But I wear it right on my head. It sits right here. So it basically pans wherever I look. And that's the camera I had on my head. And I had a K2 in my hand. And basically, there's no power on the battlefield. The dot set on green. And I walked into Devil's Den with it right in the code where they posed the dead body. And I would just ask questions, and I kid you not, that thing would spike to red on my questions. Can I say it was a ghost? Absolutely not. Do I claim it was a ghost I was talking to? No. But it was cool to watch my questions get answered going to red when I did that. And the same thing happened again on Suicide Bridge. You can read the history. I don't want to spoil it for any mediums that might be in here or anybody who wants to go do it themselves. But you can go look at the history on those two bridges, including Sachs Bridge, which is supposed to be a very haunted bridge. And we had some great investigations on Sachs Bridge. We would go at like in the wintertime where it's like 30 degrees out there, cold as hell, and nobody's out there on a Thursday night. Ghost hunting housewives. Shout out to those ladies.
Ladies.
They are awesome.
Stevie said, I have a theory on Civil War battlefields. Do you think more activity is during the day versus at night?
That's a good question. And
we've done both.
Debate.
Well, we've done both. And I highly recommend anybody that comes to Gettysburg, if you want to kind of access certain points of the battlefield at night, I think After Dark Investigations is who has a portion of the battlefield and permission to take you there. And then Gettysburg Paranormal does a farmhouse that's located on the battlefield as well as a schoolhouse, where right behind the schoolhouse, there was a battle that took place there.
And Rainworth is also part of the battle as well.
Right. General Rhodes marched his army through there and actually took over.
Took up camp right there.
Yeah, Rainworth.
So as far as investigating the battlefield day and night, it's the same thing that, I like to explain to people who ask me, why do we do it at night? It's because it's quiet, less evidence is contaminated. Gettysburg, if you want to get to the nitty gritty, the where the heavy fighting was, Devil's Den,
Wheatfield,
places like the Pickett's Charge, where like the legends are, Little Round Top. No, if you want to get to those places, you got to do it during the day, or you're going to catch a charge. So we went to the Wheatfield. Nothing happened during the day. I haven't done it at night because we haven't had access to it at night. We've driven through with a dash cam at night. I haven't reviewed it yet. I'm late. I know. So I haven't seen any evidence. I have on the original dash cam we had And we've seen a few things that weren't there when we were looking at it with our own two eyes. I have to go back and look at that. I got it on the computer. So
Now, I will tell you, my coolest personal experience at Gettysburg was we went to Sachs Bridge. It was a Friday night. It was like 1 a.m. And we were like, okay, it's late. Nobody's going to be there. BS. Whole group of teenagers had camping chairs out, drinking loud, obnoxious, things like that. Am I scared of teenagers? No. But everybody that knows drunk teenagers and things like that, whenever it becomes a hangout spot, things can get stupid. Like they'll pick up your equipment, or you'll be really trying to concentrate and they'll be right there asking 500,000 questions and you're really not able to investigate. So we chose to leave Sachs Bridge and go to Suicide Bridge, which is on the other side. And when we got there, nobody was there. And we were standing there and we were investigating, and I heard with my own ears what sounded like a gunshot or a cannon going off.
It was definitely a cannon.
And I looked at Sean and I was like, did you hear that? And I think you said you did. You heard it, right?
Oh, yeah. I heard it.
Okay. You and Naya was with us and she heard it. And I was like, okay, I'm going freaking crazy. So I got in my car thinking maybe there's like a farmer around that's like chasing off coyotes or something from his livestock, because Suicide Bridge is on a road where there's a lot of farms. So I got in my car and raced up the entirety of the road looking for like smoke or something. Because if you discharge a black powder rifle or cannon, you're going to see massive amounts of smoke. I had my windows down so I could smell gunpowder. There was nothing. So we flew back over to Sachs Bridge, and there was an investigator from After Dark and another gentleman. The teenagers had left. And I asked them, I said, did you guys hear anything? And they told us no. So I've heard stories of phantom cannon fire and phantom, black powder discharges and things like that. But to hear it with my own two ears was absolutely phenomenal. Like I was like, that is crazy.
It sounded weird. I hunt with black powder, with original Civil War rifles. I hunt with Enfields and Springfields. So I know what that sound is like when you're shooting the real black powder. And it was weird because the echo cut off as if like somebody hit the stop button or something.
Yeah, it was like boom, boom.
Yeah, it was
done.
It was so weird how that sounded.
And like if you actually discharge a weapon like in a place where it echoes, it's going to be like boom, 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 like echo all the way out. You know what I'm saying? It like stopped.
But that was your best experience. I thought the footsteps were in the farm.
Well, I'm talking about best personal experience. Like, yeah, the footsteps were cool. Like, I've never heard footsteps in the same room and felt the floor shift under my leg. So that was wild, but I'm talking about like personal, like disembodied, I guess, or like phantom.
Well, thinking about it now, I should have been creeped out when that happened. When we were in the farmhouse on the battlefield in Gettysburg.
We were too busy trying to debunk.
But we were too busy trying to figure out what the hell that was. It was weird. It was like we were in a room in a farmhouse that was built in the 1700s as well.
Yep.
And it was heavy boot steps in the same room that we were all. It was just two of us at the time.
I was sitting up against the wall and I had my legs open, like I was sitting like in a V. And I mean, there were other people in the house, so that's why we started to debunk, because we were like, okay, well, somebody's walking in the next room. But there was no room to the left. There was a room to the right. But when I got up and flew open the door, nobody was in the room to the right. Everybody was downstairs because that was the hot spot. And, it was like somebody was pacing on my left side, back and forth, back and forth. And then I felt the floorboard of the original flooring, like it was hardwood flooring, shift under my leg. And the whole left side, I remember the hair standing up on my arm, but there was no equipment going off at the time. It was just the footsteps. And when we went back to review our cameras, they were caught on camera. That's how loud they were. I want to back up though. Ghost Hunting Housewives said, we are going to take y'all to Blakely. We need to plan it. We have an entire battlefield at night and an old town as well. There's phantom drums, phantom cannons, day and night, especially around the anniversary. So That's a good question. Around the anniversary, this goes back to Stevie's. Is there more activity during the day versus at night? Ghost Hunting Housewives is saying they get both day and night, especially around the anniversary. I feel like we got more activity during Remembrance Day weekends than we have the dozens of times that we've been to Gettysburg. So I don't know if maybe during that situation, these spirits are like, okay, hold on. These people are dressed like me, like they look like me, they're acting like me, whatever the case may be. So do I think that it would ramp up around an anniversary or a big event such as Remembrance Day? I do. It's just like we could talk about the investigation that we did recently during the geostorm. Stevie said, I would say so because of the trigger. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I would have loved to have taken out one of Sean's rifles onto the battlefield and just discharged it. But that's a whole, we would have needed Gettysburg police permission and things like that. I'm curious to see how the activity goes during the July anniversary of Gettysburg. Let's see. Ghost Hunting said, we also end every investigation at a battlefield or military facility with taps. Cool. That's cool. I like that. And I'm sure that everybody on the battlefield appreciates that. Chuck thinks it's more energy. I agree, Chuck. I do. Like I said,
the whole town's in either blue or gray Union or Confederate uniforms. It's a lot more people in Gettysburg Remembrance Day. Not only are people in Union and Confederate uniforms, there's people in civilian attire from 1863.
Yeah.
So
I went out on the battlefield in my hoop skirt.
Yeah, people are on the battlefield, camping, walking around. So yeah, definitely the energy.
Yeah,
I can see that, Chuck. Yeah, it's a good point. The energy's definitely ramped up.
But I do want everybody's input on this recent geostorm that we had. I've asked several people, like, how do you feel? Do you feel like astrological events or, whatever would ramp up energy in the spiritual world? That's the question that I have.
If I had to guess,
is that right terminology, astrological, or is that astronomical?
I mean, I remember where you read it before we did. So we invited a paranormal team.
Kim said yes.
So we invited a paranormal team to come investigate our location that we host. And I keep saying location just to let y'all know we're in the Bible Belt. We have a location. It is a cemetery. We cannot name the cemetery. However, if you want to investigate it, you can let us know. But we can't name the cemetery because there's people who are on the board of the cemetery
said yes.
Disagree with what we do. But however, we do have permission.
They think we're demon hunters.
Yeah, they think we're raising the dead. And
Chuck says yeah.
Second, third. But however, the other people at the cemetery feel different, so we have permission to investigate there. What I was saying was we had a team come in and investigate it, and that activity that night is more activity than we've seen. Period.
See, and that's like
heavy activity, like stuff that happened that I haven't seen in the years that I've investigated.
Right. And let's back it up because Stevie was talking about shadow figures, and a lot of teams that we investigate, or not investigate, a lot of teams that we interview that have investigated locations with shadow figures have all reported shadow figures. I, being, an investigator myself, had not or could not relate to have seen a shadow figure before until this weekend that we investigated during the geostorm. And it was crazy. Like, they were darting in between headstones. At one point I was looking down.
You never seen a shadow figure before?
Like, not with my own two eyes. Like, I've caught them on camera. Well, yeah, I'm saying prior to that.
Oh, okay.
So, Rainworth again, but Rainworth, I saw something out of the corner of my eye, but I didn't see it, if that makes sense, like head on. But, even that night during the geostorm, I was looking down at my phone. We were trying to find one of the teams that had split off up near the top of the cemetery, and Sean slammed on brakes. Like, you can drive through. So Sean slammed the brakes. I almost hit the dashboard, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, somebody just ran across the road. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And like, again, I caught that out of the corner of my eye. So when we were coming back down, when we got up to the top, we couldn't find the team. And then when we were coming back down, I saw a shadow person dart across the road. And I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? Like, am I tired? I had recently, like, I literally chalked it up to everything but a shadow figure. So Stevie said, usually when you see shadow figures, they will most likely be out of the corner of your vision, at least I think. Well, then I've seen multiple. I guess I want to see it. Like, I want you to see me and I see you. Like,
only one I've ever seen head on was Rainward. And that's the ones that let you see them and they walk off. That was the weirdest shadow figure I've seen. And the one I caught on camera, well, the two now that I've actually got on video, the one at Blue Ball and that, Chuck and I was walking downstairs. Chuck Whitby, he's in here. Chuck, you haven't seen it yet. I haven't sent it to the group yet, and I will. Chuck and Carrie and I were on the third floor investigating, and I walked down, and my GS2 had froze with somebody standing in front of the laser grid, and that's never happened because the battery didn't die. The laser grid was still up; it was just frozen with an image in front of it. So on Chuck's body cam, you see me walk and try to figure out what's going on. My shadow bends down, and another shadow walks past me. It was actually weird, Chuck. I'll call you after the podcast and tell you about it. I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet, but I just looked at this last night. We investigated this a month ago. But
we're slow on reviewing evidence.
But I've been down to look at the GS2 in your body cam video. I've been down to look at it, and a shadow walks out of the room when I've been down, which I thought was weird. I ran this video, I slowed it all the way down. I was like, well, maybe when I bent down, my shadow did something else, but there's no way a person's going to cast two different shadows. I watched my shadow bend over, and this shadow walks away. And like, even if
like you got in his way.
Even if I were to cast multiple shadows, my shadow's not going to walk a different way from me bending down. So I thought that was pretty crazy. And then the shadow figure that popped up at the garage at Rainworth, that was pretty wild. But that thing was fast. That thing was moving. Whoever that was played in the NFL. I kid you not. That thing was fast.
Kim said in her experience, full moons bring more activity during investigations as well. I do agree with that. I do. I think that kind of goes and bounces off of what Stevie said, right?
Some Peter Pan.
Right behind you, like almost like the atmosphere supercharged. Cause like, that's when you make your moon water. That's when, if you're a grounded person
you want moonshine?
No, moon water.
What's moon water?
Look it up. Moon water.
I never heard of moon water.
You gotta charge it during a full moon. So
what?
It's cleansing. But Kim, I'm gonna sign Sean up for one of your classes so he can learn what moon water is.
I made moonshine under a full moon.
But
I never made. What is moon water?
I'm just saying, if you're a grounded person,
is that a brand of moonshine?
No, Sean, it's not moonshine. Not moonshine.
Don't do this to me under the camera so can't nobody see.
No moonshine. So, anyway, if you are a grounded person or you really like...
Kim Sage says Courtney. No, I feel like y'all are taking sides now.
No, I'm just telling you. It's like, I don't know how to put it into words on camera. It's, I don't know. I'm not good with words on the spot. Okay. But you charge your moon water under a full moon, and it's utilized. It's utilized for cleansing purposes. But anyway, if you are a grounded person or you're in tune with nature and you step outside during a full moon, it's almost like an overwhelming sense of peace. To me, anyway. I don't know, if anybody else feels that way, but when I step outside during a full moon or anything like that, I just, I'm like, I feel great. I can walk outside barefooted, things like that. And I'm not a barefoot walker. But it's just, you feel better. during a full moon. So, if your guard is down, my point is, if your guard is down and you're relaxed and you're, in tune with yourself, your inner self, then the spirits might feel more comfortable coming to you and communicating during a full moon. Stevie said Peter Pan runs that fast. Let's see. Stevie said running water does that to me. Now, running water can do that to you because going to the ocean does that to me. Any body of water, if I'm near a creek, ocean, anything like that. Shonda said you have to bring the water in before the sun hits it. They talked about it at Sage Paracon. Bingo. Moon water. Kim said, me too. I stand there with my arms reaching up, taking it all in because it's just like so.
Why do I feel like y'all teaming up against
No, it's like, it's so like energizing. Next time we have a full moon.
I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong. What are you talking about?
Stevie said streams or small creeks relax me when I hear them.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I believe you.
Well, it's kind of like that thing, like not to get it inappropriate, but remember I told you about this new thing called sunning?
Oh, so you're really talking about aiming your butt towards the moon?
You could. No, and then you could recharge your butt.
Outside. No. now this is getting real sideways. You're about to lose all the viewers we got.
I'm not going to aim my butt towards the moon, but I'm just saying it's kind of like the same concept, that thing called sunning.
If you go outside and see me bent over with my ass towards the moon,
oh my God,
you're going to be calling the hospital. I'm getting
probably.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God. Shonda said that was the first she heard about. You know what? You guys, I should have been at Sage Paracon. This is ridiculous. I should have been.
We're going to make it to one of them. We're going to make it to one of them.
I should have been. Stevie and Kim are laughing at me because they know what sunning is and you don't.
I know I'm the one that said it. What are you talking about? I'm the one that told you about it.
Anybody that's just tuning in, we have an inappropriate podcast here next year in September. Let's do it. Oh, great. Our resident dog is joining the podcast.
What?
You live here rent free. You need to pay bills. Jonathan said I'm right on time then.
Hey, Jonathan's a drummer. Do you know that?
Shut up. Why did we not talk to him about this?
Because he's busy catching all the fish and won't take me with him.
Uh-oh, Jonathan.
I need to find me a kayak that I can fit in now. I feel like I'm going to flip it over.
Jonathan, are you joining us on June 29th? We would love to have you guys back out. We added 2 new locations over there.
Okay, you're not going to smack.
All right, Athena. Get down.
Put your scarf on.
Athena. John said, I think so. Yay!
So Chuck brought up Appomattox Auto Works. Yes, we did investigate an Appomattox, the auto shop that actually Chuck is the body man in. And when we first brought it up, I was like, investigate a body shop. And then I got to thinking, I was like, it's Appomattox. Like
Appomattox is a lot like Gettysburg.
Has a lot of history. So I was like, and it's not just war history. It's a lot of stuff went down in Appomattox. So then we got to researching the history that happened on this property. And I'm like, oh crap, dude got shot there and over a gambling match. So I was like, let's check it out. And then we went in there and holy crap, all kind of stuff was happening there that night.
Well, the crazy thing that night.
Yes, Kim, that's the one you tapped into.
Yep.
And speaking of Kim, I'm about to give you your flowers on this one. So, was it before or after we investigated it?
Sam.
Where you got Kim to look up. What's up, Sam? Shout out to Samantha Beidelman. Was it before or after we investigated it? You got Kim to do a reading on it.
So it was before we investigated it.
Before we investigated,
I just sent her a picture.
Kim a picture, and this is where we want to talk about real psychics or psychic mediums. If I got your title wrong, please forgive me. I do nothing but sing your praises, Kim. Please forgive me. But we sent Kim a picture of it, and she told us everything that was going on with this place. I'm not going to say it out loud, but we went out there, and I tell you, man, we went out there, and everything that Kim said is what we got from our evidence, from our spirit boxes. Everything, like, it was some crazy stuff that happened in this location, even down to the personal feelings we were getting there that was going on. We got apparitions that popped up on camera there. I don't know if I showed you that, but that place is insane. You want to talk about a location that I didn't think would have anything there? Jesus Christ! Static meters was going off, REM pods was going off. On my FLIR camera, we saw a person walking around that wasn't on our team. We got to go back there, Chuck.
Well, that's what he just said.
Yeah.
And I think Carrie told me that some of the activity is ramping up right now.
Yeah, Chuck.
So we'll be back for sure.
Has anything crazy? Is stuff still going on there? Because if so, we need to get back in there.
You know, Kim, speaking of psychic mediums, I thought about you. I'm gonna let everybody know about a new I guess I would call it a series. It's a 2-part series that I found on Amazon Prime called The House in Between. Let me know in the comments if you guys have seen that. But basically, Steve, and I'm going to say his last name wrong, Gonsalves. Okay. He directed this series about this house in, was it Mississippi?
Mississippi. Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah. No, Florence, Mississippi.
I thought it was Jackson.
And the stuff that's going on there. And I said before they called in a psychic medium, I was getting mad because when I watch some of these paranormal shows, I'm like, all right, do this, do that. But I was so intrigued because of the extent that they went to try to debunk the activity that was going on at this house. I don't want to give too much away, but I said right before they called in the psychic medium, I said somebody needed to call Kim Sage and send her over there. And then all of a sudden they called in a psychic medium. So I thought that was funny.
There's something I wanted to get into tonight when we got on here. I was like, I'm kind of glad we're not interviewing a team because I do like the open discussions. I like them a lot because I like to hear other people's input on certain pieces of equipment. And some people hate it and some people love it. But
the REM pod is awesome. End of story.
The REM pod sucks, but here we are.
You suck. How about that?
I suck. The REM pod sucks, but here we are.
Not arguing with you on live.
There's nothing to argue about. It sucks.
Okay, go.
I use it.
Go.
Just say it.
Lord.
Listen.
I need you to be with me right now.
I've got 4 of them. Or 5. Or however many we got. We still use them, but they're not the best, most reliable piece of equipment. One button changes every theory we have on a REM pod, right? But
I don't cut that button on. I know what you're talking about, the temperature. I hate that button. I don't use that button.
That's not the button I'm talking about.
Your buttons change my theory. On men. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That wasn't nice.
I know. I'm not a nice person.
Good God.
I'm not a nice person. All right. I'm going to eat my ice. Go.
Phone apps. You know, everybody, I talked to like out of 10 investigators, you'll have 5 that say they suck. They don't believe in them. They'll never use them. And the other 5 will say they use them on every investigation. And, you know, I will say when I first
Hey, Lois.
Hey, Lois, how you doing? Thanks for joining us, by the way. Welcome.
Yeah.
When I first started using the phone apps, and please, fellow investigators in the comments, I love to see your opinion on them. I love to hear both sides of the fence. But when I first started using phone apps, I was that guy that said, no way in hell, never believe in them. I don't trust them. That was the guy that said, I don't trust them. And you know, I became a believer in them. I've got several, I will share my story on why. I'll share them on many podcasts, but you got to use the right one though. You have to use the right one. But I will say I am now.
Look at Kim's comment.
I got a dead ball. It worked amazing.
Dead ball?
Dead bell.
What is a dead ball?
Hold on, let me clean my glasses. Kim, we got a chat.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I love the dead bell.
And it worked amazingly in the Madison. You know, the dead bell, Kim, before I go into this phone app conversation, where was it? What's the name of the place? God, why am I blanking right now?
Where
do we go to where I first discovered the dead bell worked?
Belgrove at
Belgrove. I know. Belgrove is where I deserve that. I deserve that, Kim. Belle Grove, I got to sing its praises and thank y'all so much for having us as a guest there. If I ever get a chance to come back, I will be there. I will cancel plans to come back. Belle Grove is the first place I discovered, number one, thanks to Rhonda, how to use the dead bell, and two, that the dead bell's great. But I'm so glad you got it, and I'm glad that you could. I'll take your word that it works. So that's awesome.
Which room is the Madison room, Kim?
Is that the room we stayed in?
I don't know. We stayed upstairs and to the left, but the downstairs bedroom. Okay, so I call it the Santa Claus room. It was the room with all the Santa Clauses, and then there was like a bedroom off of that. That's the room that the light cut on and off while me and Nia were drinking coffee in the Santa Claus room.
That was room Kim stayed in, isn't it? No.
I don't know. No, I know Kim
stayed in the room on the left.
Okay, Shonda said we stayed in the Turner room. Madison is across the hall. I think John stayed in the Madison. Somebody stayed across the hall from us. Or nobody did. I don't know. Upstairs, blue room. Okay, so yeah, we were across the hall. Okay. All right, cool. What kind of evidence did you get with the dead bell in the Madison room? I'd like to know. So Shonda knows the Santa Claus room is the library. I loved all the Santa Clauses.
So these phone apps out here, man, a lot of people hate them. A lot of people refuse to use them. But I'm going to tell you, some of the best evidence that I'm starting to get are with some of these phone apps. And, there's probably a lot of investigators that's watching this shaking their head at me right now. But let me tell you, my pastor's wife just passed away not too long ago. I won't put her name out there. And she had a real funny voice. It's like a real distinct voice she had. And her voice came to that phone app. And my mom, who does not believe in none of this equipment, if she was on here, she was on here earlier. I don't know, Mom, if you're still watching. She'll comment, I do not believe in equipment. I'm my own investigator. That's what she tells me all the time. I'm the equipment. Mom will tell you all the time, I'm my own equipment. I don't believe in none of this equipment. I remember I was telling Mom we were going to a sanitarium soon, and she said, I would love to go with no equipment. I just want to sit there in the room by myself. That's what she'll tell you. Even when we investigated with my mom a few times, she says, I don't know about none of that technology y'all use. I'd rather be myself and use equipment. I let my mom hear a video of what I've got with a phone app, and she said, oh my God, that's her. That's her voice. And I called my grandmother last night because I wanted her to hear the voice. And so I haven't gotten to get it to her yet, but I want her to hear the same voice. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a true believer in these phone apps now. So I want my fellow investigators to hear their opinion. Maybe they haven't heard what I heard with the phone app, but I do want to hear other opinions now. Now that they've been out a little bit longer and there's different ones, I want to hear if these opinions changed yet.
Kim said it answered at the same time as my Paralight and strip light, all in unison. I had the bell in the bathroom while I was in the bedroom with other equipment. See, now that's cool. Like,
that's what happened at the chapel that night with when three things went off. That's really cool.
I love when other equipment confirms other equipment. Like, yes. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've had 3 REM pods set up in one room and asked the spirit I was communicating with to set off the REM pod, and all 3 went off in that room, like all different locations. Ronnie Anderson, Bedford Paranormal. Hello.
What's up, Ronnie?
Yeah, you can't, Kim, you can't beat that. That's golden.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm glad you got one though.
I know.
And
they're cool.
I said, now that you confirm it, I feel a lot better.
Well, they liked it in the caretaker's.
Yeah, the caretaker's house is where I first discovered how to use it. Again, shout out to Rhonda for teaching me how to use it. She never used it before, and none of us have. She showed me or gave me tips on how to use it, and I've been using it that way ever since, and been able to get great evidence with it. And I don't go to a location without it. To be honest with you, that's probably one of my favorite go-to pieces of equipment. It can be annoying at times, but when that thing does work the way you want it to work, it's great evidence, in my opinion. It's great tool to have in the field with you when you're out trying to get answers.
Now, let me ask a question. I know you asked about phone apps, but has any of our fellow investigators over here been investigating with a piece of equipment and it's answering everything and it's going off and things like that, and then you find out that you're able to debunk it?
Oh, God.
Does anybody else get disappointed? Because, like, I sat at a location this past weekend, and I was like, oh, my God, the dead bell's going off, right? It's answering all my questions. And then as we're packing up, I set something that was an EMF detector right next to it, and I thought I'd cut it off, but it started going off. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is the EMF detector going off, right? And so I moved it away and it stopped and I put it back and I was like, this cannot be real life. So I told Sean, I said, Sean, grab your tri-field.
The trusty tri-field.
So here he comes.
With
and,
2 tri-fields.
And just took a pin, pop, stuck it right in my bubble. I just knew I was communicating with something. I sure was. The electricity in the building. Ronnie said yes. Kim said yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
But at the same time, I try to break it down and tell you it should make you feel good, because that means that your sharp skills as an investigator was able to allow you to say, hey, this is what was really going on.
It didn't make me feel good. I was talking to somebody all night.
You were talking to somebody yourself. You're talking to me. What better person to talk to than me?
Ronnie said the tri-field saved the day. It did not save the day.
Listen, Ronnie, I think we've talked about this before. That tri-field is your best friend in this field. That tri-field, you can't beat it. It's pricey, yes. It's expensive, and people will argue with me all day that you don't need it. It's wasted money, blah, blah, blah. That tri-field has debunked a lot of things that I thought was paranormal. It's answered a lot of questions that I had, and it's also been able to, it doesn't lie to you. I mean, that thing picks up the earth EMF. There's EMF around you no matter where you go. There's nowhere where there's not, there's EMF in the ground, there's EMF everywhere. That tri-field, there's something electrical, is going to find it. And the one thing we failed to do as investigators
was set a baseline. Look,
I'll publicly say that. Y'all can laugh at me. I will.
It was a last minute. It was a last minute investigation. Like it was quick. Like we
wanted
just
to have some fun.
Yeah.
We have access to a location that we're able to go to, and we wanted to just run in there and
guns blazing. All the spirits were supposed to come out right then and there and talk to us for the 2 hours we were there, and then they could leave.
And
we failed.
There's one.
And now you're choking.
Didn't look like it would have power. I mean, why would there be power where we had this? If I was to show you where it was at, you'd be like, why would there be power right there? And it was in a tricky spot. That's the thing. When you run the tri-field around it, it was dead all the way till you got to one spot. And that's where the bell was sitting.
And it was like under the counter. It's not like... it was a buzzkill.
200-year-old building.
Yeah, it was a buzzkill.
Why was there power right there? Who put that there? Like, why is it there?
Is it there?
There's no plugs anywhere. Why is there power right here? But as soon as I cut that thing on, I was like, oh, damn.
And at that point, we were just like, all right, it's time to go.
Yeah, right after that, packing everything up and leaving, going to bed.
Oh, man. Buzzkill.
Played video games.
Yeah. Buzzkill. Nerd
life. That's exactly what we did.
Yes.
But, you learn as an investigator. We still make rookie mistakes out there. I'm sure people are shaking their head like, dumbass. But, hey, I will admit my faults publicly. I don't mind.
Look, we're not all right in the head. We talk to ghosts.
However, with that being said, had this been a formal investigation and someone had called us to investigate, their house, so to speak, that's not a mistake that would be made.
Yes, Kim. Look, Ronnie said it won't be the last time. Ronnie, you're correct. It will not be the last time that we F up. Like, trust me. Kim said, I learn on every investigation. Kim, I learn on every investigation, every podcast, every show I watch, every YouTube channel that I subscribe to and tune into. I learn something from everybody. Again, this, for those that are just tuning in, The House in Between on Amazon Prime. There's 2 parts. One was filmed in 2020 and one was filmed in 2022. I learned from that. And you're talking about a documentary. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I have confirmed from watching documentaries, watching YouTubers, speaking to other investigators and things like that is there is similarities across the board too. I've also confirmed that what I'm doing is not wrong. I just,
Ronnie hit the nail on the head.
I still do.
Stupid shit by being in a hurry to start investigating.
Yep.
That's where I screw up. I get to a place that I feel heavy presence and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And I skip my baseline. Or I rush the baseline. That's where I mess up, is rushing the baseline. That's my biggest downfall at times. It's not all the time. But what I will say that I do is if I have equipment that's going off, I heavily debunk it. I will pull batteries and check them. I will pull that tri-field is my best friend. Like I can't speak when it comes to equipment. Now, if doors opening and shutting, I'm checking vents and stuff like that. But if any equipment's going off, that tri-field and battery, my battery checker thingy, whatever you call it, I don't know what
battery tester.
Battery tester. That's probably the best word for it. Those are my best friends. I will heavily debunk equipment before I call anything paranormal. And even then, I don't ever call it paranormal. I just say that I can't explain why that happened.
And some of the best investigations that we do.
The cabin was a whole war.
With what?
When the cabin, when we had equipment going off in the living room.
Oh, yeah. God. Oh,
it
Jesus.
sounded like a war in there.
Oh, my God. Our team was arguing. It was terrible.
It wasn't a bad argument, by the way. We weren't fighting.
It was a healthy debate.
We all looked like scientists in there trying to figure out.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Trying to figure out why things were happening.
It's like that sometimes.
We figure out one thing and something else would happen. We were just stumped on everything. But that was the beauty of that investigation. We couldn't figure out stuff.
Well, I will say that some of our best investigations, what I was going to say, some of our best investigations are overnight investigations. Those ones you could take your time to set up your equipment, strategically place it, think of excellent trigger objects to set up, questions to ask, things like that. The ones where I feel rushed, like a 5-hour investigation or something, like those are the ones where we film 5 hours or like 3 hours of investigation because it's like 1 hour setup and 1 hour teardown. But you filming it and then you get home because you were so rushed to set everything up.
Hey, Gina.
Hey, Gina. Shout out Witches Familiar. You guys are up to it. A lot of stuff lately. I can't wait to hear. I got to touch base with you.
I think moving forward, we're refusing to do like the short investigations.
Yeah, because
just because.
Do you know how many short, like 4 or 5 hour investigations that we've gotten all the way home and realized we forgot to turn the mic on the camera?
Unless they're public investigation, I'm not doing. I'm not bringing a team to do short investigation.
Yeah.
Unless they're public. Now, publics, I'll jump on those. I support those. So.
Yes, Ronnie, we are not the type of investigators that think that everything is haunted. We never claim that anything that we're communicating with is paranormal. Some stuff we just can't explain and we hope it's paranormal. But we do stay debunking everything. But it was just this past weekend, it was one of those situations where, I was just heavily into it and asking all the questions and there was responses. And then it was like I said, a buzzkill at the end. I'm like, shit. Gina said those investigations, we usually go bare bones back to our starting roots and take very little equipment, takes too much setup. Yes, I absolutely agree. And in this particular case, we did go bare bones. We went with like the Dead Bell, REM Pod, K2, Spirit Box. And I think you had your lantern.
I don't think I had, yeah.
I think you had your REM lantern.
I had the lantern because of the age of the location.
Yeah.
And there were lanterns in there.
But I mean, it was, it was a stupid mistake. Like I said, the baseline wasn't set. So here I am spending 2 hours talking to EMF. But it's okay. Because I did debunk myself and I laughed and we were able to laugh about it. That's the thing. I'm like, I looked at myself, dummy.
But I won't say it was a waste of time because the Spirit Box was great. And
yeah,
when you run multiple Spirit Boxes and the phone apps that are going with each other, and again, I know some of you out there are like, well, I don't trust phone apps. I don't ever use them. Cool. But when phone apps are going with Spirit Boxes and you're able to research the information you're getting and it's all lining up,
Yeah. The amount of times we hear me say that was me in our recordings. Yes, Gina.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I can't tell you. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times you will hear that was this or Sean's stomach or
yeah,
Courtney's asleep in the next room snoring.
Yeah, my stomach is terrible in investigations. I don't know. My stomach never growls or makes noises at home. But for some reason during an investigation, it just sings. I don't know what's going on.
I saw a meme earlier that said paranormal investigators having to tag every fart, stomach growl, and burp during an EVP session.
That's the one thing that doesn't get talked about that I see a lot. I mean, maybe I don't watch enough podcasts. I try to jump on them.
Yes, Gina, snacks are a must.
I do try to jump on the Riff Nation and the
beef jerky.
I keep getting it wrong. Totally freaking awesome. Or
totally freaking awesome paranormal show.
I do try to jump on those and Riff Nation a lot, but and I'm not down in either one of those. Are my favorite too.
Bye, Kim. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
we'll chat soon.
Thanks for jumping in. I jump on those two a lot when I try to be conscious and jump on them because they support the hell out of us and we try to support the hell out of them. But when I watch paranormal stuff, YouTube, the TV shows, debunking is the main thing that when it comes to investigation is the biggest thing that we do, I think. Even when you're reviewing evidence, is the thing that is the least talked about from other investigators.
The crazy thing is though, like between me and you, the difference in opinion.
Yeah.
It's good to have two different views and two different opinions, but it can get frustrating. Like we've talked about this on previous podcasts a lot of the time. Now, Sean and I are just now learning how to investigate together. But when we first started, he's lying. When we first started, we could not investigate together. Like I would take my equipment, go into a separate part of the building. Sean would take his equipment, go into a separate part. He's talking shit. The last several investigations we've investigated together. But when it comes to debunking, I'm learning how to back off a little bit simply because of the difference of opinion. So, if Sean comes to me,
Courtney thinks everything's an orb.
No, I don't think everything is an orb. What the hell? Where did an orb come from? No, but if like Sean, what? If Sean shows
joking,
me,
by the way,
the orbs are flying around. If Sean shows me like a piece of evidence that he captured on camera, he'll be like, I swear this is what it is. And I'm like, no, that's not what it is. And he's like, no, look at it from this angle. And I'm like, I'm trying, but I really don't see it. So then I have to like stop, back up. The next day. The next day, I'll look at it and then I will see, okay, I do see what Sean saw. Could it be this? And so the amount of time that it takes to review evidence, we cannot be the only investigators backed up on reviewing evidence. Raise your hand if you are backed up on reviewing evidence. Ronnie, I'm not talking to you about orbs. Everything is dust. I'm not talking to you.
That is true, though, the difference of opinion, because like the picture you got in the Confederate section.
Ronnie's backed up on evidence too. Thank God, I'm not the only one.
This is one location. Everybody sees it but me.
Michael still has a lot of evidence too. All right, so it's a normal thing. All right, cool.
Oh, we're terrible. We're like backed up 2 or 3 investigators.
I have a dash cam footage that we need to review from a year and a half ago.
I need to see this dash cam footage from my last time at Gettysburg because that owl. I want to see the owl.
Oh, yeah. The damn owl.
I don't even care about the ghost. I want to see this owl.
So we're driving up the road and this like giant owl like swoops down right in front of my car and like hovers for a second and flies away. And I looked at Sean and I was like, we need to pull this dash cam footage because that's going to be cool on camera. Gina said we still have stuff from November to go through. All right, I no longer feel bad. I don't
think we're that far back.
We're not that far back, but
we might be though.
A couple months at least.
I was looking at stuff from Avenel House, like that still has numbers on it. I didn't mark that.
Oh God. That was a year ago.
I missed some things. I don't know.
We're not perfect.
It's hard.
It is.
I get distracted. I'm not gonna lie. I get distracted, and then if I get distracted, I just click off the video because like I might have missed something. I don't know what happened.
Ronnie said he's got footage from a couple years ago.
It's hard. It's hard to stare at one room and a camera, hoping, and you're like, man.
Look, and our cameras do this thing where they like do 15-minute increments and then go to another video. So now we've got, for example, at Rainworth, we left our cameras rolling the entire 24 hours we were there.
Yeah, we haven't upgraded to the DVR.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a DVR. It's hard and time consuming. Gina said, don't feel so bad about our November. Yeah, not anymore. Ronnie's got us beat over here.
We're still stuck in the past.
Michael said his camera does that too. It is kind of a pain in the ass. I think in my mind, I think I'd rather click on one video that's like 2 hours long than 100 videos making up that 2 hours. Maybe it's like psychological. I don't know.
We're still old school with a lot of stuff. So everybody's been telling us to get a DVR, and I don't know if that's different with how you're looking at it.
Yes, Gina, I do have a camera that does have that weird clicking noise when the IR cuts on and off.
Yeah, it's like click up and then the screen flashes.
Yeah. That's caused a lot of false hope because I'm like, did something walk by the light? Oh no, it's just the IR.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
That's crazy. So let me know in the comments. Do you guys have any questions before we quit our rambling session for the night?
Yeah, we're about to sign out and go watch the Totally Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show.
Yes, tune in.
Y'all need to go check them out as well. They got a great show.
You know what, Ronnie? I've heard that actually. So what are the pros and cons of DVR systems? I guess
you're the first person to say you rarely use them. Everybody's been telling us to get one. I just don't do it.
Gina, I started only going with my body cam.
Oh, I love the body cam.
We're glad you tuned in. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. We got to get you guys back on our show because you guys have been like super busy and done some awesome investigations. I want to hear all about it. I'll send y'all a message for some dates here. Yeah, DVR systems, pros and cons. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really interested in hear y'all's input on DVR because, like I said, they're not that expensive, but it seems like it'd be a lot to set up to me, and I don't know who on our team is really going to sit back and monitor that.
I like talking to myself too much.
That's my biggest thing. I'm not going to sit there and monitor it.
He said setups are a pain in the ass, good for smaller locations, but big locations, it's too much. I see that.
That's the big.
Yeah, I see that.
I thought, yeah. And who's going to sit there on our team and watch? I mean, Carrie likes the cameras, but
it's not fair that somebody has to be like locked down.
Carrie likes to investigate too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could hire a camera person, but
Carrie said she would. Look, there she is.
That's why I just said her name. I knew she probably would. So, Carrie, you're willing to not investigate with us and sit there and stare at the camera for the rest of the night
and log in our paranormal journal.
Carrie, that sounds like it. I think you'd be miserable. I don't think you'd miss out on the action doing that.
But would she? Because she would see the action firsthand.
She would hear me, Carrie.
Ronnie said you can just let it record. You don't have to have somebody sitting there.
Yeah, but then you got to review all that. That's 4 cameras you have to review. It's bad. Well, I got to review the cameras anyway when you set up 4 different ones in different locations.
Well, that's what Ronnie said. Review is time consuming.
See, Carrie said true. And Carrie, I would make your night miserable. I would go to each camera and just fart in every camera.
We went to Cheney Mansion in March, and $25 they gave you their security cam footage of your investigation. We have so much extra footage to go through with it. You know what, though? That's cool. I've actually recently heard that several locations are starting to go to a DVR system and then like tacking on, like for an additional fee, you can get all the footage. Smart business move, for sure. For sure. Ronnie, you have 8. We've got an additional. So it's going to be very interesting. A lot of cameras. So yeah. Ronnie said that's a good deal on the $25. You know, like I said, I've recently heard, and again, this documentary on Amazon Prime, The House in Between, they talked about it. Some locations are charging an extra, like Gina said, $25, and you get their DVR footage. That's not bad. Like I said, excellent business move.
Gettysburg does that. Who is it?
Gettysburg Paranormal. Gettysburg Paranormal. They do an extreme tour where for an additional, I think it's like an additional $25 per person, you get
participation trophy.
Yeah. A certificate saying you're an official paranormal investigator. Ronnie said
big ass cases around suck too.
Ronnie, wait until you see Sean. Okay. Just wait.
Me and Ronnie are gonna get along just fine.
Oh yeah.
We are.
I just don't like loading the car and unloading it.
Yeah.
But you and Ronnie have trained for this. You know how people have to train for like triathlons? You and Ronnie have trained for this being in the music world.
Yeah.
If you've ever had to load down a car with music equipment to go to a show, God bless you.
I remember when I first started playing music, we had to load a full PA into a Chevy Malibu.
We got it in though. The subs were in the back seat and the mains were in the trunk with the guitar. Like, look, I don't understand why I'm so shitty at Tetris because I can load the heck out of a car or an SUV. But we've upgraded. This is why we have an SUV.
And a pickup truck and trailer now.
Yeah. Ronnie said we packed music gear. That's what I'm saying. If you've packed music gear, you guys are trained for this.
And we got Chuck and Carrie who's yep.
Yes, Carrie. It is still a jigsaw puzzle.
Watching Carrie pack here is funny. Yeah, Carrie gets in there and it's like watching a Tetris game. Watching y'all pack is hilarious. And yes, I'm a lead singer that packs my equipment. I don't want to hear no jokes.
His microphone, maybe.
I don't carry equipment out.
Sean, Carrie, vouch for me right now.
Hey, that's all for tonight, folks.
What is Sean doing when we're packing equipment, Carrie? That's the question for the night.
I don't bring equipment in. I don't take it out.
You're normally talking.
That's all for the night. So Sean, we're Hill City Paranormal.
Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
I do bring equipment in and out. I don't carry the paranormal equipment in either.
That you do.
Jesus.
And Carrie said he has to socialize. After a show, yes. Paranormal equipment you do carry. Now Ronnie's laughing at you because you got busted. See? On live.
Y'all are crazy.
Smooth with the fans. Yes, Carrie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, poor Sean.
No love here.
No love. But guys, we are going to sign off. We've been rambling and talking y'all's ear off. Yep, Ronnie, that's it. Mike and Mike stand. Well,
don't believe them, Ronnie. Don't believe them. I carry guitars, speakers, all kind of equipment. We haul the PA.
We do haul it.
Right. So I carry the subs.
You are correct.
Carry this out. The mains.
As he said, folks.
Courtney carries the cords. That's it.
The cords? Are you serious? We'll have this argument after. Ronnie said he believes you.
I know.
He believes you.
Ronnie got a connection.
Yeah. He believes you.
Yeah.
Yep. Ronnie, 2 + 2 = 5.
That's her California education.
2 + 2 = 5. Whatever you say. 2
That's
+ 2
her
=
California
5.
education. You should have went to Bedford County School.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We love having open discussions and just, chill kickback sessions, things like that. If anybody has any questions, you can always hit us up on our Facebook page or email us, hillcityghosts, that's plural, @gmail.com. We're always here, to answer or respond to any questions, comments, or concerns. But you guys have a wonderful night. Again, I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We're Hill City Paranormal, and we appreciate all of you.
Thank you.